Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Voorhees Township Committee meeting of November 12, 2018. Please rise and join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Friedman. Mr. Platt.
Here.
Mr. Babbitt.
Here.
Ms. Nocito.
Here.
Mayor Mendez.
Here.
Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Due notice of this meeting has been published in both the Inquirer and Courier Post newspapers. Also, a copy of the annual meeting notice is posted on the bulletin board outside the municipal clerk's office. I'm obligated by state law to tell you there's no smoking in the building. I'd also ask that you take a look at the emergency exits to the rear of the room. Also up front on either side of the governing body. Lastly, you should be advised that the meeting is being videotaped and will be shown online and on our local public access channels at a later date. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Our first matter this evening is the second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 101 of the Code of the Township of Voorhees governing the games, automatic and commercial. Since this is the second reading of an ordinance, I will open it up to the public. If there's anyone from the public that has any questions or comments about that ordinance, please come forward.
Seeing no one, move to close public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion of that ordinance is closed. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Friedman.
Yes.
Mr. Platt.
Yes.
Mr. Babbitt.
Yes.
Ms. Nocito.
Yes.
Mayor Mendez.
Yes, so carried. Our next matter is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 76 of the Code of the Township of Voorhees regarding administrative fees for the towing of vehicles. Do I have a motion on the first reading of that ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Our next matter is the first reading of an ordinance of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, canceling certain funded appropriation balances heretofore provided for capital improvements and reappropriating such funded appropriation balances for other capital projects. Do I have a motion on the first reading of that ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Next is the first reading of an ordinance to release, vacate, and extinguish any and all public rights in and to a portion of 3rd Street, subject to certain terms and conditions. Do I have a motion on the first reading of that ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Our next section is the public portion for resolutions only. If there's anyone from the public that has any questions or comments about any of our resolutions, please come forward.
Seeing no one, move to close public portion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion for resolutions is closed. Our resolutions this evening are number 244-18, approving state contract vendors. Resolution number 245-18, approving purchases through state contract. Resolution number 246-18, approving purchases through state contract. Resolution number 247-18, approving 2018 budget transfers, number 1. Resolution number 248-18, approving change order number 1 for Landberg Construction LLC, $5,346.81 increase. Resolution number 249-18, authorizing a grant submission for the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. Resolution number 250-18, approving a performance guarantee for McDonald's Restaurant. Resolution number 251-18, approving a maintenance bond from Landberg Construction LLC for the 2017 Road Program Phase 2. Resolution number 252-18, authorizing the award of a contract under a national cooperative pricing agreement for one 19-inch brush chipper with 165 HP gas PSI engine to Vermeer Corporation. Resolution number 253-18, authorizing the township to participate in a cooperative pricing agreement with Camden County for the furnishing and delivery of sodium chloride and pre-treated liquid enhanced sodium chloride. Resolution number 254-18, awarding a bid for the rehabilitation of 4 runs totaling approximately 2,110 linear feet of existing 8-inch diameter sanitary sewer pipe along Northgate Drive in Voorhees Township, New Jersey, by using continuous cured-in-place pipeliners with wall thickness of 6 millimeters. Resolution number 225-18, authorizing the issuance of an amusement games license to Nichols and Dimes, Inc. Resolution number 256-18, our tax assessor authorizing deductions to property taxes of specific taxpayers. Resolution number 257-18, approving a person-to-person and place-to-place liquor license transfer from SHS Voorhees LLC to BBR Voorhees LLC, Spring Hill Suites. Do I have a motion on those resolutions?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. There's no need for an executive session this
There,
evening.
actually, Mayor, the
Okay.
interviews that we will be conducting,
Okay.
we will, so I'll frame that at the close of our session before we go into executive session, if that works.
Okay. Do I have
Thank
a-
you, sorry about that.
That's all right. I have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Our next is approval of our minutes from the meeting of October 15, 2018, our court administrator's report for October 2018, our tax collector's report for October 2018, our treasurer's report for August 2018, our treasurer's report for September 2018, bills posted for October 24th, 2018, and bills posted for November 12th, 2018. Do I have a motion for approval of those?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I don't have a problem with paying our bills. I'm fully in favor of that. I don't know why we're paying $377 for a hotel room on 1023. So I will, I'm in agreement of paying the rest of the bills, but this $377, I don't get it. I don't know why we're paying that.
It's money for the Economic Development Director to go to the National Economic Development Conference in Nevada.
Okay.
This is hotel room.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
So carried. We're having we will have a public portion. No problem. Our next section is comments from our committee. Any questions or comments from our committee? Our final portion is our public portion. If anyone from the public has any questions or comments, please come forward. Good evening.
Hello.
We have your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Elise Panett. My address is 130 Forest Hills Drive.
Thank you.
I would like to address the committee on a number of items on the bills. First item would be the $377 that Mike Friedman just addressed for Mario Di Natale. I would like to know what this fee was for. Is it customary to have these processes? And I would like a little more explanation.
So we went to the National Economic Development Conference in Las Vegas, where he was hoping to meet and did meet many vendors who were looking to come to the mall. So he was looking at both people for potential development, but also other businesses that would want to come to Voorhees. So he was there and represented Voorhees at this conference in an attempt to get economic development growth.
Okay, I mean, it seems appropriate for his position. How long was the conference?
The hotel room was 3 days.
So it was a 3-day conference, or the hotel room was for 3 days?
The hotel room was for 3 days.
Okay, how long was the conference?
I don't know, I'm assuming 3 days, if not more.
Okay, I mean, I think it's, it warrants some explanation as to how long the conference was. Did he spend extra nights there, or was it an actual 3-night conference where he needed to stay that long? I'm here, I think everybody knows I ran for committee, didn't win, it's okay, but I just want to let everybody on this committee know my job, the reason I was running for committee is I'm not okay with these expenditures that keep popping up. I will be here at every meeting to call them out. I suggest that we really look hard and long at why we're spending money and how we're spending money, because I will be here every single month in your faces calling these things out. Because this is our money, taxpayer money, not your money to spend as you see fit. It's our money. So you need to take that into consideration when you are spending our money.
You can come meet with me anytime, our CFO's right there.
I appreciate it.
We can,
So that
Discuss
was the
everything
first
agenda.
item I wanted to address. The second one I wanted to address, it's all these line items going on 1022, so I'm assuming that that's when we pay these bills. But the second one I wanted to address was a $60 fee to the Voorhees Business Association. I'm assuming that this was a fee that we paid for lunch as a Voorhees Business Association member. I know it's $20 for a lunch. Why are the taxpayers paying for Mayor McNona to go to a VBA lunch? Okay, I'm not sure who else attended, but I know you were in attendance. You have an expense account.
No, I don't.
You don't have an expense
No, I
account
don't
like
have
the
an
other
expense.
committee members?
I do not have an expense account now. I've been going to the VBA meetings for 15 years.
Which is great. I think
okay.
you should be there.
And I frankly don't see a problem with the township paying my lunch bill, because I do not have an expense account. And I think it's important that I be there, and I've taken that very seriously.
Yeah, I think you should be there. I totally agree. As a representative of our community, it's important for you to understand what's going on. But if you do not have an expense account, that's one thing. I thought that you did. I guess I was mistaken.
No, I do not.
And so now Mario also does not have an expense account?
Well, let's make sure the record is clear. Each of us on committee receive a $3,000 check for expenses. So it's not an
Okay, that's
expense
what I
account.
thought.
It's not an expense account, but it's a representation of expenses that we might incur as township committee people.
Okay, that's what I thought. So my point to you, Mr. Mignona, is that you have $3,000 to pay for these types of expenses. If you go above and beyond that $3,000, then itemize it, okay? And then we can address those charges
Okay.
accordingly. But I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
So if you want to go for lunch, pay for lunch. It's $20. This is taxpayer money. And I totally agree that you should be at these meetings, but not on our dollar. You should be there because you are a representative of our community and you care about the businesses in our community, not so you can go have a lunch on taxpayer dollars. These are the things I will be calling out every meeting.
Okay. You done?
Sure.
Okay. I do get expenses, as does every other committeeman. And my expenses actually typically exceed the other committeemen because of the various duties that I have. And I do itemize all of my expenses that are submitted to our CFO every year.
Mm-hmm.
So my expenses typically go beyond the $3,000 stipend that I get, and I do itemize every one of those expenses.
Okay, if that's the case, then again, those costs should be itemized and also public knowledge. So we can see where you're going over, where those expenses are being paid, okay? And I just want to see where that money's going.
Sure.
Okay, so that's one thing. We talked about Mario. I have a number of line items here, which I know we discussed at the last meeting. The Rutgers tuition for $3,700 for Miss Macedo. I noticed there is another line item on 1022 for Rowan College in the amount of $3,374. There's also another line item on November 12th for Camden County College, $8,260. And there is another line item, again, for Rutgers University on November 12th for $1,125. So I would like a little bit more explanation as to why we're paying all these college fees. And I know that Ms. Lytle at the last meeting specifically requested a policy be put in place, especially for elected officials taking township money to pay for education costs. Has that policy been addressed?
No. The first expense to Rowan College was for 5 firefighters to go through the fire academy. The other 2 were both for firefighters, for EMTs, to go through training, one for fire inspector classes 1 and 2. All those were training, and all just so happened to be for the fire department.
Okay.
Also-
And the
also-
Rutgers line item?
Also, Ms. Panett, just so you know, when I was elected to committee, I did request that we enact a policy that if anyone should leave the township within 1 year of the township paying tuition, that they owe tuition back to the township. So that's employees and elected officials. So just so you know, we do have a policy in place.
Well, is there a policy in place for you to charge the township for $3,700 for tuition reimbursement? So I love how you enacted a policy that somebody has to pay it back. But where's the policy to say, as an elected, a quarter-time elected official making $7,000 for that position, where is the policy to state that that is not an appropriate figure for tuition reimbursement? Again, Ms. Lytle addressed this at the last month's meeting. I would like to know from last month to now what has been done as far as this is concerned.
Nothing, we haven't had a meeting.
Okay, so when do we plan on addressing that?
With the 2018 budget, or 2019 budget process,
Okay, so we won't address it until January.
the next time there'll be an expenditure.
Okay.
Or would be a
Do we
request for expenditure.
know what this November 12th line item to Rutgers was for $1,125?
Dean, do you remember?
Fire inspector training.
That's fire inspector training, okay.
I think all the ones that she's referring to, I think they're all fire department related.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm not talking about our fire, EMT, township employees. I'm specifically referring to elected officials using township money for courses. It's not appropriate, okay? And we're not gonna drop it. So if you wanna address this in January, we can address it again then. I'll be back then. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of other people here as well. Okay? All right, I think that covers everything.
Again, if you have questions on the budget, come see
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
I will,
between-
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rich Peters. I live at 42 2nd Street, Natco. However, this concerns my parents' property at 250 Route 73. You got a problem, big problem. I got a tax bill here. First of all, my parents are dead. Yes, the house is still in their name. We still have family living in the house. And now they're telling it's major commercial. We go from a $7,000 tax bill last year to almost an $18,000 tax bill this year. That's reprehensible. Okay? I've been told they're allowed to do this in regards to a state statute. I can give you the number right now. I can't find it right now. But basically, because my parents don't theoretically live there, but my mother still is there. Her remains, she was cremated, and we brought her home because that's all she wanted when she was in the nursing home for Alzheimer's. She still resides in the house. This is a disgrace. I need help.
We'll be glad to sit down with you and talk about it if you'd like. We can have
Make
our...
a suggestion, Mayor?
Sure.
So, the
The assessed value on the property last year was $173,000. Now they're saying it's 450,000. First of all, you show me where I can get 450,000 for it, and I'll sell it tomorrow. Okay? I got an offer. The best we could do is possibly 300, and we having problems selling it because we got uncooperative neighbors. Okay? Now, I think this is a disgrace. That property was never a commercial property. It was never bought for speculation purposes. My parents have lived there since 1962. And this is how you treat lifelong residents? It's still their money. It's a disgrace. I need help, and I expect help.
May I answer you, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. So, the township engages a tax assessor,
Right, I understand all that.
and that tax assessor works for the county of Camden.
Right,
We're obligated to supply him an office,
right,
supply him a staff with benefits.
okay.
We cannot attempt to unduly influence him in any way on his assessment because.
Wait a
we
minute.
are-
Well, wait a minute.
I'll be glad to be patient, sir. Go ahead.
Don't, you know, this has nothing to do with the assessed value. This has to do with the fact that it's still a residential property. It has never been transferred. It is still in my parents' estate.
Sir, respectfully, may I continue?
Yeah.
Thank you. So at some point in time, the assessor, who we can't tell what to do, which I think is very unfair as well, has changed the assessment on that house for one reason or another. So number one, I would encourage you strongly to reach out to Michael Kane, our assessor.
My sister's the executrix of the estate. She has. That's the assessor, correct?
Michael Kane?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, take this law. This explains it all. Okay?
May I make another suggestion, sir?
What? Other than getting the lawyer and suing everybody, that's, I think, is my next thing I'm gonna have to do.
Probably a good idea. I would encourage you to do that, sir. I would encourage
Well,
you.
sure, another lawyer's gonna make money.
No, that's not my point,
Well,
sir.
guess what? It's
That's
sure
not
as
my
hell
point,
sounds
sir.
that way.
Respectfully, sir, I would encourage you to consider engaging an attorney to file a tax appeal because you could possibly be right, and then the town would have to reimburse you.
Well, you know, I just think you sit there and you want $18,000 a year in taxes, and you're not gonna do a damn thing for me?
Yes, sir, we are. We're gonna alert the tax assessor that you came here this evening.
Yeah, that'll really get a lot.
Sir, I've advised you that, like anyone else who owns property in the township of Voorhees, I would encourage strongly that you file a tax appeal if you believe that the assessor's made a mistake or the property's been overassessed.
Well, let me ask you something. In my case, when you get a tax bill, if you got a tax bill last year for $7,000, and then all of a sudden this year you get a tax bill for 18, almost 18, you'd be a little upset too, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Okay, where the hell do they get off on, all of a sudden pulling this law out of thin air? Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Sir, I think
I mean, I'm sorry. I see solicitor there, and I think lawyer. And,
I'll be attorney.
and I'm sorry, I have very little respect for lawyers. I'll be frankly honest with you.
Thank you.
So,
You're not alone.
yeah, well, a lot of times you live up to your, to
I
your,
tried to be very courteous to you.
well,
tonight, sir, and
I'm
give
trying
you-
to be courteous
give-
too, but the
give
bottom
you
line
some
is,
information.
it goes back to the same old thing again. Pay the tax, or we're gonna take the property. The taxes have never been past due on that property since 1962, till last quarter, when we said to hell, with it, we can't afford to pay them. And now I am mad. I am absolutely, I'm furious. And then you want to sit there and tell me, oh, I gotta get a lawyer, you know
Well,
something?
you don't have to get a lawyer to file a tax appeal.
Yeah,
sir.
I know.
You
I
can do
know,
that on your
I know.
own.
Good, we'll just,
You don't want to hear from me anymore, do you?
no, I really
Okay,
don't.
then I'll keep my
I
mouth
really
shut.
don't, good, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. But I really would appreciate you saying something, because this is ridiculous.
Well-
And I wanted to see this on videotape, so I want to see the rest of the township know what's going on here. Okay?
I will say something.
Go ahead.
This body, and I know you don't want to hear what I have to, you're not going to be happy to say, but this body has no ability to change a tax assessment due to the way the state formats the tax assessments to come down. I had the same thing happen on a property a family member owned also, and I encouraged them to file an appeal. They won the appeal, and then for the next couple of quarters, didn't have to pay any taxes. They had to pay what they had to when it was being appealed. But then they did win the appeal because it was unfairly assessed. And the governing body, and I'm sorry.
Well, you know, listen, I understand. Unfortunately, I don't like one lawyer telling me to go hire another lawyer. That's the big problem.
I understand, but
Okay?
my family member.
Nothing personal.
No.
It's the nature of the animal.
My family member filed the appeal themselves, and
Right.
they won it without going to an attorney.
Well, maybe
Now-
that's what I'll have to do.
And-
But
and-
I am fed up with this. This is a disgrace, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, it is what you have to do because the governing body has no legal ability to walk in and change a number because of the way the state
No.
has set up the way that the appeals.
Yeah, I never knew that, and I guess I'll have to go file an appeal.
Yeah.
But I wanted to
Yes.
come here tonight, and I wanted the people to know exactly what's going on.
I'm not disagreeing
Okay.
with how upset you are. I'm not disagreeing with anything you say.
No, I know you're not.
Unfortunately.
I know you're not.
And unfortunately, the method is the appeal through the appeal process.
I know.
with the-
Listen. It all goes back to the lawyers.
Well,
Hey, have a good night, everybody.
You too.
When's the deadline? Is it April?
April, you have to file January to April 1st.
Sir, you gotta file between January and April 1st, just so you know. You have to file between January 2019 and April 1st, 2019.
Yes.
So that's your window
Right.
to file the appeal.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Any other public comments?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Luis Lopez. I'm a Mount Holly resident and live at 98 Summer Drive. I want to thank to our new candidate, Jason and Michelle. I got a couple of questions for the Santa Claus, the fire truck. If I were coming from Mount Holly, what's the best way of seeing that fire truck, the Santa Claus?
Well, you're talking about the parade that's this coming Friday evening, or are you talking about when Santa
when it
Claus
goes
visits?
around.
Yeah, Santa Claus
The
go
neighborhoods?
around.
We can give you a schedule of where Santa's going to be and what particular neighborhoods. and what-
Luis, we can tell them when to meet the firefighters and Santa Claus at the station it's leaving from.
Yeah,
Before-
I'd like
before it
to,
leaves.
if you could send me a
Yeah,
location, I'd like to be there.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all the registration board for entire New Jersey, I think including Voorhees, for coming out and voting their choice. I say now we're completely blue, except for 2 township, one for Sport and one other that is a Republican. I want to congratulate everyone for doing a fine job. And the greeting from, we have one special viewer who's doing that whole time. She's a Brazil priest from South Paul, saying greeting from that part of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, she's speaking to me in Portuguese. I can read some of the words. She's the one to say greetings from that part of the
Tell
world.
her hello from us, please.
I got a question. Do the Voorhees Township have USZ funding?
No.
No?
UEZ? No.
Yeah.
We're not an enterprise zone.
No. That should be,
The state won't give it. They will never designate Voorhees a UEZ zone. No.
That's a better way to save taxes, right?
Yeah, but the people would lose funding, and we're lucky that Camden is still a UEZ zone because it was eliminated under the prior administration for a little bit. So
I'm just
we're lucky that
curious.
UEZs exist.
Yeah, we had one in Mount Holly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 to 6. I mean, it
And
could be
and
depleted.
Is it back? Is the UEZ back in Mountain?
No, it's still in effect.
It still is in effect?
It's still in
So
there.
it went away probably for a little bit and then came back probably with the,
With our township, it's no increased funding. When it's, they say it's $65,000 a day, when that $65,000 is gone, there will be no more USD.
oh, okay.
I mean,
I
you
got
should have it, man.
Yeah.
And I want to say, as a view, it got shared 10 times over the last township meeting. I appreciate it for everybody sharing my videos.
Thank you.
Instead of waiting, 3 more days, we had one person came, one of the Democrat committee from Voorhees came, I transferred the videos, the first half of the videos. He said, thank you, and I love coming here. And one thanks Jason, I appreciate it for the safe ride home.
No problem.
I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love coming here.
Thank you, Louis.
Thanks, Louise.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Any other public comment this evening? Good evening.
Hi, Frida Lee Rosenthal, 8 Palmwood Drive. Was there any success in Las Vegas about getting tenants here? Was there a report? I mean, shouldn't that be up to the REIT? Are they doing anything? I mean, I'm sure it's owned by a REIT, right?
Maura,
It's not owned by a REIT, the mall?
Yeah.
It's not owned by a REIT, it's owned by a private company.
I'm sorry?
It's owned by a private company. Namdar.
Was there any success in Las Vegas?
I didn't come home, or didn't come back with anybody with a contract that they'd be here. A lot of us making contacts, letting people know it's here. He brought, I know, a satchel full of our brochures, et cetera, about Voorhees statistics about why this is a great place to do business because of the education levels, the amount of homes that within 5 miles of here. So really to come home saying, well, I've got 3 people who want to come, but I know he made lots of contacts. And that was the main part of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment from our public this evening?
Seeing no more public, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor, if I may?
Sure.
Will be in accordance with resolution number 258-18. We'll be going into executive session for matters involving personnel. It's anticipated that we will be in there for approximately 45 minutes to an hour. We'll be adjourning in that executive session at 8:30, I'm sorry, it's 8:30. 8:30. I'm uncertain at this point in time whether there'll be any formal action taken after the executive session.
Okay.
Just wanted to clarify the record with that.
With
So we
that,
would recess into executive session, sir.
okay, thank you. We will be recessing. Good evening.